Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, we will learn about workflows, how you can create a workflow and what are different features of workflows. So let's get to it. Navigate to the automations tab. Uh, this will lead you to the workflows tab, which displays both the drafted and the published workflows. As you can see over here, with these three dots icon, you can edit, delete or duplicate a workflow. And at the bottom, as you can see, these two previous and next buttons, you can use these buttons to navigate through your workflows. It is especially useful when you are managing through numerous workflows. You can use this create folder button to add a new folder for managing your workflows efficiently. Type in the name for the folder and then click on create. So as you can see, a new folder is created, and now you can create new workflows and add those workflows into this folder. Over here we have the filters button. With this you can filter out the workflows which are drafted, published or paused. Let's say if I click on published and then click apply, all the published workflows will appear in our window here. Now click on the plus create workflow button in the top right of the screen. From here you can choose to start from scratch, or you can import from existing campaigns, or you can also use pre-designed recipes or templates. So let's continue with the first option, which is start from scratch. It will lead us to the workflow builder. So within our workflow builder, you can rename your workflow with this pencil icon. Let's say test workflow. You can switch between the settings, enrollment history, and the execution logs tabs to customize your workflow. But for now, let's head back to the builder tab. We will come back to these tabs later on in this video. You can add new triggers and actions to build your workflow. You can test your workflow with the test workflow button, and you can save changes and switch from draft to publish to activate this workflow. Now let's try creating a simple workflow. Click on this add new trigger button, and as you can see, several triggers appear to choose from. We have triggers for events, appointments, opportunities, affiliate, courses, and all these different categories. At the top, we have the contact category. So let's choose a trigger from here. Let's take this contact tag trigger. And now we are in the trigger settings. With this drop down here, you can change the trigger for the workflow, and here you can change the name for the trigger. Let's leave it at contact tag. Click on this plus add filters button. You can customize your trigger with specific filters. With this drop down, you can choose a filter. Let's take tag edit, and now you have to select a tag. Let's We already have a tag named as new lead. Let's take this one, and now click on the save trigger button. And as you can see, our trigger is now in our workflow, and you can also add a new trigger, which means that our workflow can have multiple triggers. Now to add a new action, click on this plus icon. We have all these actions to choose from, and now let's say we are building a workflow in which you are going to send two emails to your contacts, and you have to add a wait step between them. So what we have to do is find the email action from this list. Here it is. Click on it, and now the action settings are opened up. Now let's fill all these fields. You can either type in the information, or you can click on this button to add a custom value. So click on the user, and now select the full name from here, and similarly user, then email, and here type in the subject, let's say test. And from here you can choose an email template, or you can leave it at none. and type in your message here in this box. And once you're done, click on this save action button. Now let's add a wait step. Click on the plus button again and let's search in the search bar wait. Click on the wait action. Wait action is very commonly used and it is also very useful. So first we have the action name. Here you can change the name for the action, and then under wait for we have all these options for wait based on CRM events and time based. For now, let's leave it at time delay. It will allow us to wait for a particular amount of time or period. You can read the description for all the other settings as well. Let's make it 10 minutes. We also have the option for advanced window. When this is toggled on, the contact is only allowed to pass this wait step when the specified amount of time is over and the specified amount of time elapses within this window of days and time. At the bottom, we have the additional filter for day, month, or year. It is great in case if you want to send an email at, let's say, at the end of the month. Now in the same way, add another email action. Okay, so our workflow is now ready. Now you may want to make changes and reorder one or multiple actions. Rather than deleting and recreating the actions, you can move one or multiple actions to another portion of your workflow. So for that, hover over a workflow action to display the three dot menu icon. Click this to open the actions menu. From the menu, choose move. Select move action to move one individual workflow action, or you can select move all actions from here to move that particular action and all following actions. The workflow will now display move here icons. Click any of them to move the workflow action to that spot. If you change your mind and want to cancel the moving of actions, just click on the white blank space on the side of your workflow and it will cancel the process. You can also move or remove contacts from workflow steps. This can be useful in case these contacts were added by mistake to this workflow, or if you no longer want them to wait to move them to the another step. If a workflow step has a contact on that step, there will be a user icon on the top part of that step. Since we do not have that icon, we'll have to test this workflow for a contact. Click on the test workflow button. Now from this drop down, choose a contact. Let's take this one. Click on it and then click on run test. Okay, so as you can see, this icon appeared on the top part of our wait step. If this icon doesn't show up, you may have to refresh your page and then it will work out. Now, if you click on this icon, a list will pop up which will show all of the contacts waiting in this step. Now, as you can see over here, we have one contact in this step, and if you see over here, we have two icons, the running man icon and the trash can icon. The running man icon will allow you to move all of the contacts currently in this step to the next step, and the trash can icon will allow you to remove all of the contacts in this step from this workflow. But please note that if you click one of these buttons, that action will occur for all the contacts in that step. So this was only one way of doing it. You can also do it from the enrollment history tab. Go to the enrollment history tab at the top of the builder view. This will show you a list of all contacts in this workflow as well as the current step they are in. Next to the name and email of the contact, you can click on the delete button that will remove the contact from the workflow, or the move to next step button to move that contact to the next step in the workflow. Now let's move back to the builder and make another commonly used workflow so you can understand workflow better. Filter for the appointment status. From this drop down, click on appointment status is, then confirmed. It is recommended using confirmed, and once you're done, click on save trigger. Now you have to add in a send email or send SMS action to add a confirmation which will be sent to the lead or client once the appointment has been confirmed. Click on the send email action, and first of all from here change the action name. Let's make it confirmation email. And now once you're done filling up all these fields, click on save action. Now you have to add a wait step. Click on the plus icon again, search for wait, click on it, and from here you can wait for the event or appointment time. Let's make it 24 hours before the appointment time and change the name to, let's say, 24 hours before the appointment. Now add your reminder emails. Go to the email action again, and here set up your reminder email, then click on save. Okay, so now you can add another wait step and then another reminder email. You can add a wait step of, let's say, 1 hour before the appointment, and then add your reminder email. Once you're done making all your customizations and adding your actions, make sure to save your workflow and also ensure that the workflow is published. Now, to ensure that a lead continues to get reminders even if they reply to the workflow email or SMS, ensure that you toggle off the stop on response in workflow settings. This is necessary for a reminder campaign because even if a lead responds to confirm the appointment, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will want to stop sending them the reminders. If a lead responds something like, let's say, looking forward to it or see you then, you wouldn't want them to miss out the reminders. Okay, so you can improve this workflow in many ways. For example, you can add if else branches in this workflow. You can find the if else in the actions tab, search for if else action, and you can see the if else action here. So that's it for the builder part. Let's move on to the settings tab. Okay, so first of all, we have the allow re-entry feature. It will let a contact enter this workflow multiple times. And then we have the stop on response. As I told you earlier, this feature allows you to stop the workflow from continuing to move through the automation sequence once the lead replies. And then we have the time zone. From this drop down you can select for the account time zone or the contact time zone, and here we have the specific time. It allows you to restrict communication to a particular window defined by you. And then the sender details, it sets a default sending email address and name that can be overridden by the email actions in the workflow if desired. And then lastly, we have the mark as read option. It controls whether or not automated messages are automatically marked as read in the conversation. Now go to the enrollment history tab. It views a history of all the contacts who have entered this workflow. You can use these filters for your own ease. You can select the contact from this drop down here. It shows you the contact name, the date on which that contact was enrolled in this workflow, and then the current action and the status. And then lastly, we have the next execution on. It shows the next action information. And yep, that's it for the enrollment history. Now let's move on to the execution logs. It views a history of all executions performed by this workflow. Before explaining execution logs, let's test this workflow for some context because with some data it will be easy for you to understand. Let's take this contact real quick and run test on it. Okay, so now if I go to the execution logs, it should have some data. Okay. So as you can see, it is showing a history of all executions performed by this workflow. You can use the drop-down menus to sort and filter through the current statuses for your workflow, and you can select for a contact from here. Here you can view the contacts, action, their status, and the executed on, which is the date or time. And with this icon, you can view details for this log, and you can also view the execution history and the contact history also. Okay, I think that's enough for the execution logs and also for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the next video.